Hi, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today we have a new moon in the sign of Aries. I've actually done two previous readings on this new moon. One was a reading for the new moon, a card reading for the new moon. Um, and it really sort of came up that we're at an evolutionary um, an up leveling of the energy, and that we are being required to live our lives and have our relationships with each other and the planet uh, go through a significant shift and a significant change. Um, and that is the energy of this Aries new moon. And it's a very powerful new moon because we have Chiron in a conjunction to the new moon, and it is square the nodes. So this is an evolutionary crossroads. There were a lot of other things about the chart and the reading. I also did a reading on the chart itself if you want to check those out. But what I thought I would do now is I would look at this new moon for Donald Trump. Um, I don't do this on every new moon, but I do it on a few of them, and this is definitely a big point of just as we're all being required to shift and change and up level and evolve, so is he. So let's see what these cards say about that. Um, all right, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Spirit again. Um, all right, so this is the his immediate environment, Donald Trump's immediate environment, and let me just check. Okay, so we have uh, the 10 of Cups, or the 10 of Water. We have, this is called the Fountain of Love. Um, I don't feel that in this case we're talking about the Fountain of Love. I believe that we're talking about things are overflowing. There's an energy of emotional overflow here. And I believe that this is okay. So this is associated in this deck, and I don't know if you can see it. She associates the cards with signs and planets, and this one is Mars in Pisces. Mars is forward motion. Pisces is diffuse energy. Pisces deals with things like um, uh, epidemics or pandemics or things you cannot see, things that are hard to stop. It's like the water is flowing, everything is flowing, and um, there's so much of it that you can't like sort of dam it up. So this is just like an outflow of emotional energy. So he's very, very emotional, and he could be to a certain extent. Um, Feeling like he's being the benevolent ruler, that he's willing to give all this money, and he's going to help and he's going to heal it, and through the power of his mind perhaps he feels like um, that everything is just fine. Okay, let's see what's challenging that. Okay, well, this is the Ace of Pentacles. Reality. The reality. So reality is challenging his sense of sort of overblown optimism, or this sense of, you know, plenty, overflowing plenty, plentitude, as it were. Let's see what's at the root of this. This is a waking up. Now, I asked whether he was waking up, and he is actually. This is a card of waking up. It's called the Resurrection card. It's the Last Judgment, and so he can hear Gabriel's horn. He can hear it, and my sense about that, Gabriel toots his horn, so, or blows his horn, and really toot it. He blows it. It's like shaking the walls, for us to wake up. And he's hearing it too, but I'm sensing that maybe he thinks it's Hail to the Chief. Like he thinks that that music is really more of, this sense of, oh, I'm wonderful, I'm great, I'm taking care of everything. Everything's going to be taken care of in 2 weeks and we'll be back to normal. Yeah, okay. So that's in the past. Okay, cause and effect. So, to a certain extent, he has his actions in the past have created this situation. Now, we can't say that he created the pandemic itself, but our response to the pandemic and our ability to respond to the pandemic here in America was definitely affected by the choices that he made in the past. Okay, this is in the sky. This is what's available to us, and it's clarity. So this is six of uh, wind, or the six of swords. I feel like we're going to see things for what they are. Now, I'm not sure he will see it for what it is, but it will be crystal clear to us. Okay, it will be crystal clear to us. Let's see what's in the immediate future. Okay, the Ace of Fire. This is called force. This is it's interesting, we have two aces here. So the Ace of Fire is about new beginnings, but it's also and there's endings to this. All of the aces really, not in this deck, but in the Rider Waite, have the hand, right? We have the Ace of Cups, the hand holding the cup, the Ace of Swords, the hand holding the sword, the Ace of Pentacles, the hand holding the pentacle, the Ace of Wands, the hand holding the staff, right? But as God giveth, so God taketh away. So we usually, there's a great loss before something, um, sort of something good comes in. I know in my own life, some of the greatest things that have happened to me and the greatest gifts that I've received occurred after a great loss of some kind, whether it be the loss of a parent or the loss of a pet or just the loss of a relationship. There was always this sense of great loss, and then on the other side of that, we have this sort of new beginning. So there's that energy here, but this is fire and it's force, and it's not easily contained. So there's this energy. There's a lot of energy here about forces that can't be contained. Um, this could be some sort of stimulus for a um, new creativity. This is creating a whole lot of new creativity. Is it causing creativity on his side? Perhaps, but I know it's definitely creating creativity for us because we don't have another option. We don't have another option. How this is seen from the outside, we have the sun. This is an illumination card. So people are seeing things as they are. The sun shines. We see all the lines. The fog lifts, and we're being illuminated. Domestic situation. Okay, we have the eight of cups. In some decks, this is turning your back on something. But I feel like this is a card, in this case, of isolation, feeling isolated, feeling emotionally isolated, feeling that you're not being satisfied by. It's like suddenly all this water of the Ten of Cups sort of, hold on, just trying to pull this. All of this flowing water has had a sort of stopped, and now it's sort of contained, and kind of having to sit with your emotions, hopes and fears. This is the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. This is wishing things into existence. He's hoping for sunnier days. We have the rainbow here, but the nines are not manifest. It's right before manifestation. So it's the ability to sort of outpicture what you want to see, but it doesn't necessarily mean um, that it actually manifests itself. So I would say he hopes for uh, sort of a miraculous healing of some kind, or a miraculous, it's going to work out just the way he pictures it. See the outcome. Okay, and we have the Father of Water here. This is emotions. This is deep emotions, almost as if he, in this deck, the Father of Water is part of the wave. It's funny because Cash Peters did a reading on Donald Trump where he saw him, three waves that he would go through, And the last wave, which is the wave he's up to now, he sort of disappears into the wave. So the wave is coming. I feel like this, all of this water, all of this emotion, and it is the emotion of love. So on some level, he's becoming overcome by that wave of love. And if he is not a loving person, right? Uh, if he's chosen to be that sort of hateful, um, just the antithesis of compassion. Now compassion comes and flows in and overtakes him. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is the Wheel of Fortune is a fated card. I almost feel like these cards are talking about, because he is who he is and the things that he's done and the way that he's done, that all of a sudden people are overcome to the opposite of that. And that just sort of takes him out of the game. And, on some level, it's very easy to, in a way, to do readings on Donald Trump because he's not liked by many people, especially a lot of people who watch, me or people like me. So he's an easy punching bag. But these cards talk about, well, they talk about his ending, but it's almost like he was an agent to bring this sense of love and compassion and togetherness and oneness, um, together for us. He was the thorn in the paw of the lion that required the lion to make friends with the mouse, and then they became great friends. So it's like he's reminding us of who we really are, and we're not necessarily defined by his wound. And this is his wound expressing itself, his wound of isolation, his wound of not feeling lovable, his wound of feeling like he doesn't matter. um, he's done so many, um, apparently awful things to people who, um, he's a bully, right? He's a bully, so he picks on those people who can't fight back. And that is, it's an awful way to be. But how much pain does a person have to be in to get to that point, to be like that? And so it's easy to pick on him, but it's not easy to have compassion for him. But I think in the long run, when we look back at this time, um, and I've said this before, someday I might say, well, thank goodness that Donald Trump was president. And I can't say I'm at that place. So don't worry about that yet. I haven't gotten there yet. But there is this sense of, um, you know, him being the focus so that we can come together and we could do the healing that's necessary. Let's see what's underneath all of it. Okay, so we have the seven of what is this? The seven of wind, the seven of swords. This is lies, unfair tactics. This was all, very sort of underhanded, slimy stuff, right? This was this. So underneath it all is this, uh, lies and voices, and um, he's not a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. This card indicates that he is not a nice guy. Um, but what it has done is it has brought the Six of Cups, making America great again, right? That's nostalgia. But this card is also about faith, and it's about fair distribution of resources. It's about, sharing the love. It's about the love of family and all of that. And on a certain level, he sort of brought that forward for us. And then we have the Fool, a whole new leap ahead. So, what is going on with Trump this month? Um, in his mind, he's doing a great job, which probably doesn't surprise you. He realizes that there's some sort of shift, but he sees, as he always does, every crisis as an opportunity. There's somebody who sees crisis as an opportunity. It's him. And so he sees this as a great sort of creative force. But ultimately, the wave of love and compassion and the clarity that we're going to see him as to what he's done and what he's doing. It's like in the bright light of the sun, you can't hide. And so there's no more hiding. And I feel like he is going to be overcome by that third wave, like Hash Peters talked about. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And in the Wheel of Fortune, those at the top fall and those at the bottom come up. It's just the cycle of life. What goes up must come down. And he has reached the pinnacle of you know, the most ambitious thing to do is become the president of the most powerful country on the planet. And now I feel like he's on his way down. And it will be a dramatic and terrible fall for him. Um, and perhaps then he'll realize that Gabriel is not playing Hail to the Chief, but Gabriel is playing, hey, buddy, we're all in this together and you're no different from anybody else. And if you want love, you have to find it within yourself. So that's what I think. Um, I think it's almost over. And I think that this coronavirus is, in fact, that wave that overtakes him. And perhaps in that perhaps in that experience he will himself be healed. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? But we do need to have compassion and love for the victims and the victimizers, because we're all one. Remember that. Okay, guys, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that reading. I've had a long day, and yeah, I probably look like I've had a long day, so I'm gonna go kick back and relax. Take care. Um, yeah.